Okay, it's been a while since I did a cooking video, so I'm gonna do one. And I like doing those budget-friendly, quick prep, easy meals at times. So what I am making is a chicken pot pie. And the first thing that I went ahead and did is I preheated my oven to 350. And like I said, easy, right? We like easy. So I am not making homemade crust for this at all. So I got it's the 2-pack deep dish crust. And you do want to get this out ahead of time. The idea is you want it to be easy to work with, but you don't want it to unthaw completely. So I'm getting this out right now to unthaw just a little bit, just so it's easy to work with. Okay. So I have 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. And with your chicken pot pie, you can put whatever vegetables you want. I would make this for my kids all the time. Now I'm just making one pot pie, but I would normally have to make 2 or 3 when my kids were growing up. And they loved this. And I would stick with the same vegetables, but I'm going to switch it up just a little bit here. But my kids liked it the way that, the vegetables that I'm putting in, they liked it this way. And I just kind of stuck with the same thing because it's what I liked. Except I'm doing one thing different. I'll show you here in a minute. I'm just adding just a little bit of milk, not a ton. And the reason why I don't want to add a ton of milk is some of the vegetables that I'm putting in here are frozen. I did get them out a little bit ahead of time because the water, when they unthaw in the oven, is going to make this a little bit, the water's going to get in here and make it a little soupy too, and you don't want it to be too soupy. And the chicken that I normally use, I would get the boneless chicken, and I would boil it and then just cut it up, shred it, whatever, however you want to do it. But again, I'm always griping about the prices at the store, right? And I already had a bunch of chicken thighs that I separated. I would buy the big packages and I would separate it and freeze it. And I had a smaller package of frozen chicken thighs in the freezer already. So I got that out and I boiled it and I took it off the bone and, took the skin off. And so that's what I'm going to use. And I noticed after, I already did that, so there was no reason to watch that. But I noticed that I could probably have used more chicken, but that's okay. No biggie. You can also, if you want, you can use the canned chicken. Whatever you want to do. There was no reason for me to go out and buy canned chicken or boneless chicken. I have a deep freezer, and I had a ton of frozen chicken thighs that I have separated when it went on sale. I just bought a lot of chicken. So that's basically the consistency I'm going to have with the chicken soup. Okay. So what I always put in is the winter blend broccoli and cauliflower. I love broccoli and cauliflower in my chicken pot pie, and so did my children. So I'm just dumping 2 bags in here. And as you can tell, it is still frozen. So that's where you're going to get some of that water. You can leave it set out even longer. This has been sitting out for about a half hour. Crunch it up a little bit if you want. It will separate, you know, as it cooks. And the pieces will separate fine. So it's no big deal. And then what I would normally do is, because my kids, they would be a little bit picky, I would just put some like maybe corn, canned corn or canned peas or frozen in this as well. But for some weird reason, I decided to just do a can of mixed vegetables. I don't know why I decided to do that. But I'm gonna. Like I said, you could put whatever vegetables you want in there. Doesn't matter. I mean, some of these, as you can see, the broccoli, it's really huge, but trust me, it will break down in the pot pie as it's cooking. And then just add your chicken. Like I said, I could have probably had more chicken. I should have got out one of the different bags of chicken, but that's okay. We're just going to go with it. And I don't put any seasoning in this at all. No salt, no pepper, no nothing. You can. I just don't. I would let the kids, you know, if they wanted to put salt, pepper, seasoning, salt, whatever on it after it cooked, I just let them do that on their own. Okay, so basically that's it. I tell you, my setup is really horrible. So now I am going to check I got the pies out here, and we're just going to wait a minute because I'm feeling this, because all this stuff is going to go in one, but the top one has to make sure, I have to make sure that it is going to be able to pull out of here easily. And wow, it looks like I have enough to make actually 2 pies with this. We're going to see. Now, if I have extra of this, I will put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer, and I'll freeze it to do another pie at another time. So I can go ahead and put this mixture in here. Really making a mess here. Some big old chunks. I really should have got that bag out and let it defrost a little bit longer. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot left over. That's why I do get the deep dish. And I will freeze the rest of this. I mean, I can use it for something else. I'm not sure what. I don't know if I'll have enough to make another pie. put it on pause for a minute. Okay, I had to clean up my fingers here and then wait for this to get a little bit unthawed so it was easier to work with. So then it's basically just getting it out of this pan where it doesn't break apart, and if it does break apart, you can still try to fix it. Sometimes it sticks. So we're just going to stick it on top and then just squish. Sides together here, or whatever you want to call it, so that it doesn't leak out. And it's not going to be pretty. I'm not looking for pretty. Looking for edible. And I do have enough in there to make another pie. Normally I don't, so I don't know what that was all about. I know that that's not the normal brand I buy on the Winter Mix for the broccoli. I would normally let that sit out longer to break that down, so I don't know. So I just want to make sure that this is squished really good. Hopefully this is in the eye of the camera. Don't know. Like I said, we're not going for pretty here. I'm just trying to get dinner going. Okay. Looks like it's squished pretty good. It's not going to leak out. Okay, one thing that I learned, I don't know if anybody else, if they have an issue with this, but my crust, let me get that back in. Now I can kind of see that it's not in the eye of the camera. I noticed that whenever I make pies, any type of pies, my crust always gets done before anything else, and it might you might get burnt a little bit more. I don't know, it just gets too dark or whatever. So I learned a little hack many moons ago, and that is to put some foil, doesn't have to be perfect, around the crust like this. And then about maybe 10 minutes, doesn't have to be perfect, about 10 minutes before it's done, maybe 5 minutes, whatever, you can take this off. I mean, the crust is still going to brown too, but you're not going to get the burnt crust. I don't know, for some reason I have the issue. I don't know if anybody else does. But I always had that issue with my crust always getting done, or, you know, a lot browner than the rest of the pie, and that always worked. So anyways, and I'm just going to make a few ventilation cuts, nothing fancy. Making a little star, I guess. And I'm going to put this in. I really don't go by any type of, I mean, for the crust itself, if you're making a pie, I think the directions said for about 15 minutes. I'm going to just wing it. We'll see how long. I'm gonna put this in, and I'm gonna check on it in about 15 minutes, and we'll just see when the crust is nice and brown. It'll be done. So we'll just see how long it takes. Normally it takes, when I made them before, about 20-25 minutes. So we'll just see and then take a look. And I will take this foil off normally about 10 minutes before this is done, and let the crust completely brown like it should. So anyways, normally the foil, I normally do it about 10 minutes before I'm ready to pull any of my pies out. So we'll see what this looks like when it's done. So now I pulled it out of the oven, and it did leak out. I didn't pinch it good enough, so I did put it on a different pan here. But I left it go for about 30 minutes, and I have to say that my appliances are a little bit horrible. They came with the place, and I already said that I'm going to be doing some remodeling in my kitchen. It was supposed to be done over the winter, didn't get to it, so the appliances are one of the things that are going to go. My oven, it's horrible. But anyways, I could have left it go longer if I wanted to get more of a golden crust, but I mean, it's flaky, so it's good enough. People are hungry, they want to eat, and I need to get back outside. It's cooled off. I finished up cutting grass, and now I need to get to some mulching and getting my flower beds done up. We had that heat wave that came in, and it's finally cooled down a little bit. So I need to get out there and get stuff done. So yeah, so there you have a pretty quick prep, as you could see. Budget friendly. My kids just love these chicken pot pies. You can put whatever you want in it, and like I said, you can let them go a little bit longer if you want, but the crust is like I said, it is flaky, so it's good enough for us. And yeah, so gonna go ahead and get people fed, and then get my butt back outside and get some more yard work done. Hopefully I can finish it up tonight and enjoy my weekend. So everyone have a great evening, and I'll just catch you again on whatever video I decide to do.